a city where humans and different creatures live together. But a young boy accidentally gets the eyes of God and has the strongest power in the whole city, and terrible things happen. But this boy loses something to get such power that you won't believe it. That's why I suggest you stay with me until the end of the video. Hello, welcome to the Animo Time channel. For today, we have a recap of a unique anime named Blood Blockade Battlefront. A beautiful anime that you should not miss. Before we start, don't forget to like and subscribe, which is a great support for me. The anime begins with a boy named Leonardo watches letter to his sister, Michelle, and says that how he no longer feels worthless. At present, Leonardo seems to be running after a supersonic monkey that stole his camera. While running behind the monkey, Leonardo is suddenly attacked, but fortunately saved and appears in front of one of the Libra members named Zap Renfro. Leonardo is here in town to join Libra and didn't make it to the meeting point on his first day. It's a daily life in the Hell Salem's lot that was once known as New York City. 3 years ago, a portal opened between Earth and beyond, trapping New Yorkers and beings from another dimension in an unbreakable bubble, forcing them to coexist. A secret group called Libra, made up of superhumans and eccentrics, is responsible for maintaining order in the city and making sure the chaos doesn't spread to the rest of the world. Zap calls Leonardo Johnny and takes him to Libra headquarters. There he is introduced to Klaus and Chain Sumiragi, the other Libra members. However, Sumiragi is surprised to see him as he has declared himself dead and changed his name to Johnny. While they are in the headquarters, an attack suddenly approaches and cuts the top of the building in two. The king of corruption named Femt has caused this chaos because he wants to remove humanity from the Hell of Salem forever. Femt reveals that these attacks will continue to appear until they find the gate that pairs with the thief and destroy it before the demon finds it. Libra members then realize that the thief is now the monkey and the gate must be on it. Klaus questions Leonardo about his original purpose in joining Libra, and he then reveals what happened to him 6 months ago. One day while he was with his parents and crippled sister, a demon suddenly appeared and announced that he or Michelle must choose to willingly sacrifice sight to the other. He was frozen at that moment, but Michelle sacrificed her sight to him, and through this he gets all-seeing eyes of the god. But his sister loses her sight forever. He has been in town because he wants to find a way to make his sister normal again. Soon the HLPD team approaches Libra and continues to shoot them, but Klaus orders Zap and Leonardo to destroy the gate and goes to deal with the HLPD team. So, Zap and Leonardo go to catch the monkey. Leonardo soon approaches the monkey and opens his eyes and destroys the gate instead of killing the monkey. Femt, who has been surveying the whole scene, gets angry at Leonardo's avoidance of killing even when he is in the City of Chaos. Stephen, a Starphase, a member of Libra, explains to Klaus that persons with the all-seeing eyes of God have the ability to see the past and the future. Then it turns out that Leonardo works as a digital pizza delivery boy. While he's giving deliveries, Zap bothers him by appearing wherever he goes. One day, when Leo and Zap are riding, a cleaning truck suddenly enters Leonardo's field of vision, but something about it catches his attention immediately. As soon as Leonardo realizes they are being observed, he is driven away. Zap then contacts the chain, but Yahabio attacks them after realizing that Leonardo can see through Shiburoba's illusion. Shiburoba is ordered to take Leo with him, and while he is kidnapping Leo, Zap manages to put his blood on him. When Leonardo opens his eyes, he notices that they are keeping people alive inside their truck and thinks they are being used as food. Leonardo warns them that feeding is illegal and they won't get away with it. Shiburoba claims that he was the only one who saw his illusion and then realized that Leonardo had the all-seeing eyes of the god. Steven discovers that Zap has connected his blood to Leonardo, which helps them locate him. When Zap regains consciousness, they finally manage to retrieve Leonardo and defeat all of them. Later at the hospital, Steven congratulates everyone for rescuing the 19 missing persons from the illusion. They later find out that Zap was Leonardo's secret bodyguard. A few days later, Leonardo finds a cemetery in the hospital and finds it strange. A young girl has been present in the cemetery, who introduces herself as White, a ghost, and calls out Leonardo's name while laughing. White is caught on camera by Leonardo, who then states that he can see her. Once again at Libra headquarters, Steven mentions a drug called the Angel Scale, a drug that allows for temporary physical change. He tells Chain and Zap to start investigating. However, no matter how hard they try, they can't find any information about it. Together with KK, out of the inhabitants of Dawn RL, one of the most powerful bosses in the alternate universe, Klaus confronts Korsakavlchenko, a grandmaster. As they enter the mansion and encounter Dawn RL, he summons a prosperous gaming board, a board game based on chess. Dawn RL defeats Korsakov in his first game and wins the rest of his life, but Klaus stops him and starts to play. After a 99-hour game, Klaus finally defeats him and saves Korsakov's life. He also learns the location of the Angel Scale drug. Later, Leonardo spends time with White and shows her the photos he took in the hospital while he was in the hospital for the previous 3 years. Next scene, while on the train, Klaus comments that some people produce light, and Black replies that 25% of those living in Hell Salem is lot of humans, 20 are of an unknown type and 50 are monsters. Black replies that the other 5% are invisible to the ordinary eye and are dangerous. Next scene, they meet Patrick at a party hosted by the Libra. Leonardo reports that he noticed a person with a fantastic crimson aura spreading like wings. Leonardo later learns that the red-haired man he saw was a vampire. Zap informs Leonardo that Blitz T. Abrams, sometimes known as Lucky Abrams, is a renowned vampire expert whom Klaus considers a mentor. Blitz then appears showing a severed arm and holding a piece of paper, claiming to have something to do with Elder 13. Group 13 is a group of 13 immortal beings with an astonishing ability to regenerate and are almost flawless. When Blitz asks Leonardo if he can read it with his eyes, Leonardo tries, but sees sparks and roaring flames. After that, Blitz, Klaus, Zap and Leonardo head off into eternal nothingness. They stop at the central station of Iguadashiad, which is located directly above the crater in the middle of Hell Salem. Leonardo informs Blitz that he saw far more than 13 people when he looked into the hole and experienced eye pain. Then KK and Steven head to the station where they encounter several giants made of vampires. But when they fight with them, they are defeated in the end. When Klaus discovers it, he tries to help them and uses his method to destroy Tonio Andretti. Klaus touches Valshjerica and shouting her name to seals her. Next scene, Leonardo goes to see White and asks her to come back home, because everyone is waiting for her but she doesn't accept. Then Black calls Fempt and informs him that he is his friend. While Leonardo and Zap debate whether to eat or go to a conference, they witness a large monstrous machine which crush a massive vehicle and then start chasing them. Elsewhere, Doghammer greets Klaus and Blitz as they haven't seen each other in a long time. As they free him, Blitz informs him that Aligura, the one who did this to him, is back. The dog has no memory of that person, but Delgia emerges from the dog's body and asks if it is true. Blitz replies that she probably wants them back. Meanwhile, Aligura finds out Leonardo gets stuck on the side of the truck. Aligura has already captured Leonardo, but when Klaus, the dog, and Brody arrive, the dog remembers some of the experiments she did on him. He leaps towards the monster truck and calls Brody to surround him and tries to hit it, but the vehicle is too strong. So all he manages to do is stop it and send it flying. Libra tries their best to save Leonardo from Aligura and they finally succeed. Later in the hospital, Leonardo saw White again. Leonardo wants to go home, but Sonic refuses. So an angry Leonardo goes to White and invites her to a movie. After watching a comedy, White secretly tears up. White sits next to him and tells him that he is a wonderful person and hugs him. The next day, after buying some hamburgers, when Leonardo is about to cross the street, he sees someone hit by a truck. He checks it out, but individual is fine and continues to beg Leonardo for a hamburger while claiming he has a different skeleton than a human. Martin and Roger, two truck drivers, come out and scold him for crossing the street carelessly. Roger offers him his half-eaten hamburger, which Nej gladly accepts. Later the next day, Leonardo runs into Nej again, and Martin and Roger give him hamburgers while charging him a hefty premium. As they leave, Leonardo asks why he pays the extra money, indicating that he cannot buy them himself and that it is difficult to find anyone willing to buy them. Leonardo decides to buy them for him without charging more. When Roger and Martin discover it, Nej is beaten by Roger, but as a result Nej releases a gas that causes people to lose their memories of the previous few hours. Later, Leonardo visits Nej, but Martin soon appears and knocks them both down. In an attempt to capture them while Martin continues to torment Leonardo, Nej becomes enraged and releases a large number of spores, leading to a massive amnesiac crisis that causes everyone to forget the previous 2 weeks. Leonardo was taken to the hospital and then discharged, having forgotten his memories of the previous weeks. Leonardo then goes to see White, where he is introduced by her older brother who turns out to be Black. When Leonardo and Black first meet, he inquires about White's illness, and Black replies that he has a terrible heart. In the Libra office, when Leonardo arrives is surprised because he's used to seeing Zapp trying to defeat Klaus, but today he's not there. Soon Zapp calls Klaus and asks for his help as he has been kidnapped and is about to be killed. Klaus and Leonardo arrive at the designated location and find that Klaus must fight in an underground arena. Leonardo soon learns that Zapp is not actually kidnapped, but he's the planner of the setup himself. After watching Klaus fight passionately, the owner of the arena, Osmaldo, enters the ring and challenges Klaus to a duel. As they begin to battle, Klaus splits his skull and impales him, revealing a blood breed inside him. The blood breed admits that he wasn't the one who killed Maldo, he was just using his body to have fun with Klaus. Blood breed then throws him against the fence before hastily disappearing. Later, Zapp subsequently thanks Klaus for saving him, but Leonardo knows Zapp's truth. But as soon as Zapp realizes that Klaus is tired of the battle, he attacks him but is defeated as usual. Black is later seen by Leonardo, who offers to drive him. They talked about Halloween, and when the Black left, he went into a room with Fempt and the other individuals. Cedar receives a call from the Libra office saying that a blood gate has been opened in India and a blood breed is now halfway through Hell Salem's lot. They quickly find the blood breed, but they can't beat him until a man comes forward and drops it into a real Scar egg. Master turns out to be Raju Juji Shizayoshi. He's Zapp's former master, who ordered him to seal it off after seeing Zapp's poor performance. Leonardo attempts to seal the blood breed, but cannot recognize the true name of the blood breed, which prevents him from sealing it. Libra also learns that Raju's heart is not in his body and is lost. Raju Joji Shizayoshi, god of blood battle, creator of the great blood technique and trainer of Zapp, recruits a new student to help him eliminate the threat posed by the greater blood in Hell Salem's lot. At the hospital, White meets the King of Despair, who wants to trade White for her brother over Leonardo's eyes. Leo, Zapp and Zed's lunchtime turns out to be unusual as they visit different places, each stranger than the last. And in the end, they find themselves forced into a heated argument with Klaus and Steven. Then the King of Despair and White surrounds Leo and tries to utilize him for their own individual purposes. The secret of White and his brother is finally revealed. After stealing Leo's eyes, the King of Despair uses the power of his eyes to unleash a massive disaster on the Hell Salem's lot. The King of Despair has already begun to execute his plan, so timing is crucial in Hell Salem's lot. Leonardo rushes to find White in the chaos, and the other members of the Libra try to stop his plans in an attempt to save the city. While the Libra effort continues, there will be many internal conflicts. Leonardo finally retrieves White, and Black uses his left strength to establish a new barrier against the King of Despair. They eventually succeed, but White ends up disappearing, leaving the others disappointed. At the end, Klaus congratulates Leonardo for whatever he did, and this video ends here. Thank you for watching until the end of the video. To see the next part, be sure to write in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new videos.